Okay, and we're live. I
Yeah.
won't do the introduction just yet because we are waiting on our second one. So what's going on with Isaac's connection?
Okay, he had just found like he wasn't pulling enough from his router, It
Oh,
was
okay.
really frustrating him, and so he was like, like what's going on? And when I called him, he's like, I won't be there, but man, I just figured this out. He was so excited. So apparently, he's going to be doing really well online. So be sure to catch his streams, guys. But um, hopefully, he won't be cutting out as much, and that's one less excuse for him to, not just live on the internet. So. There we go.
I never had an issue. I never had an issue with like him cutting out. It was mostly you who was cutting out when we first started doing this stuff together, but you seem to have gotten that situation squared away. But I never
Oh yeah.
it's funny that you mentioned that because I never had that I never had that sort of like vibe from him. So but that's good. I'm glad that he got it figured out. And he'll play plenty of Overwatch 2 now.
Right. Like I'm looking forward. I mean, I'm looking forward to it to his streams and stuff. For me, I just live out in the boonies,
Okay. Got it. So while we wait for Casey, who's always late. No, he was
Hey,
having trouble finding his
a floating sea ball is never late nor early. It arrives directly when it meant to, or whatever.
oh to
That quote is.
Jesus.
Mhm.
So let's see here. I've been watching. So on the topic of anime, since that's what since like that's the topic of tonight's thing. I've been watching. I've been working on getting caught up on Welcome to Demon School, Irma-kun, for
Ooh, there you go.
that way I can stay caught up. That way I can get caught up for season 3 as part of like our fall anime watching. And I'm telling you, I don't usually laugh out loud at much, but whenever Irma has to summon his familiar who is his teacher, I can't
Oh,
help but bust out laughing. Like the episode I think it was like episode 10 or something where like the teacher comes in and he's like, okay, we're gonna have a class all about your familiars, and Irma's like, oh no, and it's like and it's like, oh yeah, Irma-kun, summon yours, and he's like, it's like, I don't know if I can do it, and the teacher's like, well, like you might get a bad grade if you don't. And he's like, okay. And then the teacher comes in. He's like, what are you doing? It's like, I can't help but laugh because that teacher, he just kind of has it coming. He has it coming whenever something bad happens to him because he's kind of he's not a nice person.
I mean, it's true. It's true. I love that teacher though. Like, I don't know how. I don't know how far you got with it.
I mean, I'm only like
Or
on episode like 14 or something of like season 1, so I'm only in the first season.
Sorry, buddy. I'm just making the post because
For
I'm
sure.
supposed to. So anyway, hey, could you also send me the link for people to watch this?
Oh, sure.
What would be the link for that? Because I need to put that in our description.
You can honestly go to like you can honestly go to the YouTube channel.
Well, that makes the most sense. Look at you
Yeah.
bringing in like logic in my day. I appreciate it because I use all my logic during the day, And so at night, Tabby wonders how I function. And like, she's just like, I've gotten so many times in my life, you're so smart, but you're so dumb. It's like, it really just depends on when you catch me, you know? Like, actually, fun fact about me, I don't mind saying it because I've said on our channel, I don't really know much about the animal kingdom. So if you ever want to trip me up, just tell me some interesting fact that should be common knowledge.
About animals?
Yeah, there's actually a little bit of a story behind that, but I'll just give you the narwhal one. I'm not going to give you the first one because it's a little embarrassing. I could give the first one. I don't really care. But um, we were at dinner, and they were talking about the Aquaman movie. You know,
Oh, there's Casey.
where is
Hello,
he?
hello, hello.
Casey,
Ah,
welcome.
Well, Casey's
Thank you
had an
very much.
exciting. Casey sounds like he's had an exciting evening.
Oh
Um,
my goodness.
Well,
The
let's.
one thing
Oh, go
I
ahead.
can definitely state is I am so glad that my dogs freak out when my cat is gone because it makes it so easy to figure out where the cat has actually freaking gone.
Oh, well, that helps. Okay, well, let's get this podcast going. All right, everyone, welcome to the Work in Progress After Dark podcast, where we kind of talk about whatever we want every Thursday night, 11 p.m. Eastern, 10 p.m. Central or Mountain,
Central.
10 p.m. Central, and
Mhm.
8 p.m. Pacific. And I say that simply because those are the times associated with everyone involved in this podcast. And lately, a lot of my channel has been anime and manga, and it's going to continue tonight with anime. Don't worry, I got some gaming stuff coming up soon. I just finished Cyberpunk the other day, so gonna be working on that. Anyways, tonight's topic, as you can tell by the thumbnail, we are talking fall anime 2022, and it has come out swinging. Whether you are watching Chainsaw Man, Bleach, My Hero Academia, Spy Family, other
Spy Family,
things.
especially.
Um, but it's gonna so fall anime is gonna be banging, and it has come out swinging. Um, especially with what I would consider to be sort of the big three of fall anime 2022 with My Hero Academia, Bleach, the Thousand Year Blood War, and Chainsaw Man. I guess specifically My Hero Academia season 6, the premiere of Chainsaw Man, and the long awaited return of Bleach. So we have sort of we've watched some of these anime together. We discuss these anime in other things that are associated with either Work in Progress or Dudeless Chat, which is where Jeremiah is from. Oh, by the way, we got Jeremiah over here, and I got Casey below me. I am Brent, and whoever's watching, welcome to the show. Yeah. Fall anime, guys. Fall anime.
You know, Brent, you've been saying for a while, whenever we jump on, we talk, and even in our last video that he was a part of, we put up, so go check that one out. He was saying it's a good year. I mean, this fall alone is making it a good year, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And it's going to continue to be. I have to agree with it. It's been great. What about you, Casey? What do you think?
Oh, I totally agree. I mean, first off, Bleach. I have been waiting for this arc for so freaking long. Oh my gosh. I remember when I finished the manga and the anime was still going, and then all of a sudden they cut the anime short after what it was like what did they cut it after a filler, if I remember correctly? A filler
No,
season?
no.
No.
They didn't cut after filler.
That's right. They did the full bring arc, correct?
Yep, they did
And
the
that's
full
where they
bring
cut
arc.
it off. So being able to go into Bleach, and I have to say, I was a little bit put off by the art style that they had with Bleach when it came back. But then after a while, it's like, oh no, actually, I really do like this because it's more of like a glossy kind of finish feel where it's like, okay, yeah, no, they're putting all the stops into this finale here.
Oh, it was definitely beautiful. I love hearing it. And so My Hero Academia came out swinging as well. Yeah, I was like, okay, like man, we've talked about that where it's like, hey, it's on the first episode
Mhm.
review that we did 2 Saturdays ago, wherein it totally broke its own norm, just went straight to the action. It looked
Mhm.
beautiful. It got right into the story. You should know it by now. 6 seasons in, we don't call it a comeback. It's happening.
Yeah.
Same thing with Bleach and yeah, and then of course the long-awaited, definitely talked about by Brent over here, the Chainsaw Man, the
Oh
Mappa
my
Studios
gosh, yeah.
Chainsaw Man, and let me tell you, I will say, I think it lived up to the hype. Personally, I like. We just got a chance to watch it yesterday with Brent, myself and my wife, and both of us just like, oh. At one point, we had to mute because like it is one thing after the other. Like, just when you think it couldn't get any worse, it's getting worse. Like
Yeah.
it's good. It's good. It's just like so.
Oh my
I
gosh.
think.
Let me go ahead and
uh,
piggyback off of you there, Jeremiah. I was not
mhm.
actually able to watch Chainsaw Man with you guys, which once again, I am so sorry that I wasn't able to do. I was supposed to do, but family things came up and it just became too much. But I did actually watch the Chainsaw Man because it actually was on Hulu. It wasn't on Crunchyroll when I tried to look at it, but it was on
Really?
Hulu. Yes.
What?
Yeah.
No, I don't know where you were looking, but
No,
it's
I
on Crunchyroll.
guarantee you, I watched this off of Hulu because right after that, I've been watching. Is it all right to pick up girls in a dungeon on Hulu? So I know for a fact it was on Hulu.
No,
That is where I watched it.
I know that it's on Hulu, but like it's weird to say that it wasn't on Crunchyroll when I was watching it all day on Crunchyroll the day that it was released. I
That's
watched it.
why I was kind of wondering because I even searched it and it didn't come up in my search. So I'm wondering if it did not get like updated into the system or something like that.
No, I
But
watched
the
it
only
3
place,
times the day that it was released.
hey, you may have. I'm just letting you
And a
know.
fourth time the next day. Like,
Right? So I'm just letting you know that, like, no, when I went to go watch anime on Monday, I went to Hulu and they had Bleach and they had Chainsaw Man, and I watched
It,
both of those back to back. First off,
yo, they
Chainsaw
had it
Man. Oh my
early.
god, they had it. Yes, they had it early.
They had it early.
Mhm.
they had
I
what
mean,
early?
it's not the
Chainsaw
dub.
Man.
It's not the
No,
dub. It's not the dub. It is the sub version.
no,
But yes,
no,
they did
no,
have it.
no. Okay, so you watched this yesterday
Um,
or the day
no,
before?
what day did you guys watch it?
I
It
watched it.
was
Well, it premiered on Tuesday,
okay. So I
and
did watch it Tuesday
you
because
watched
it
it
was the day
Tuesday.
that we were all supposed to watch things
Yeah.
together, and
Okay.
I was not. So I was actually looking to try to watch it myself, and I found it on Hulu, but not on Crunchyroll.
That's
Okay.
weird.
So
'Cause, yeah, I was
that's where
watching it
I
all
did
day on
watch it.
Crunchyroll.
I freaking
I'm
loved
sorry, I
it.
misheard that. I thought that you were saying that you watched it Monday. I was like,
Oh
so it
no,
sounds
no,
like Hulu's got the end. Hold on
no,
now.
no.
Like,
This was I was supposed to watch it with you guys, but I couldn't, so I watched it by myself. That's kind of the
Good.
thing that happened.
I'm glad you watched it.
so
However, I will state with Chainsaw Man, I laughed, I cried, I had a good time the entire episode. I mean, it was actually a really good episode. But still,
mhm.
Pochita, oh my gosh, it
Yeah,
kills me.
yeah. That
Yeah,
that was hard.
yeah. I mean, I like you guys. You guys had Bleach, and me. I had My Hero Academia and Chainsaw Man, and like don't get me wrong. Like, yes, I kind of jumped on the hype train for Chainsaw Man when they first announced the anime, but I read I read all that was available in the manga, and it was sick. It was so good. And then of course, I've been excited for this for this particular arc of My Hero Academia ever since like I got into it and read it last year.
I think you've been excited since I think since I've met you,
Yeah,
honestly,
I've been excited all
My
year.
Hero was first brought up, and you were just like, "Oh, dude, My Hero." It's like you don't even know what's coming. It's like, "Whoa, hey there, killer!" Like,
Seriously, I remember
I
you
love it.
showing me the pictures of Dark Deku, and this was like in
Dark
the middle
Deku.
of last season that you were
Yeah.
showing me pictures of what was supposed to come, and I'm just sitting here like, okay, I want to see it. I want to see it. I want to see it. Where is it?
Yeah,
Dark Deku, you say?
you get to see
Oh,
Dark Deku in the second
you get
half
to
of
see
this
Dark Deku by an extreme, and he
Yeah,
looks
we
so freaking awesome.
we don't need to spoil anything more for Jeremiah. Okay,
Oh, is this
so
no? I think I know about this guy. I messaged you, but like my friend said at one point.
I have a figure of him over there. I have a figure of Dark Deku.
Yeah, you sent me a picture of someone. And I was like, is that him like fully powered? But I'm guessing that's it. Like I said, I don't want to give too much. Like, but what I texted you about him in Class 1A not seeing eye to eye, like
we'll get there. We have 25 weeks of My Hero Academia.
it's a beautiful year.
We have 25 weeks of My Hero Academia. We get over the course of the next year, we're gonna get 4 cores of Bleach, which apparently will wrap up the series. And then, of course, over the course of the fall season, we're gonna get 1 core of 12 episodes of Chainsaw Man. So the purpose of this episode is to discuss who came out swinging the hardest.
Yeah.
Who came out swinging the hardest between Bleach, My Hero Academia, and Chainsaw Man. Okay, and this whole conversation came up when I was talking with Jeremiah and Isaac the other day. It was like I think I was on your guys's. Were we watching Bleach? Were we watching Bleach? Oh no, we were doing the video on Bleach.
It was at the very end of the video. Yeah,
and you're like, who's got the hype? Someone said something about the hypest anime of the year.
I really want to know who had the hypest first episode, and yeah,
and I said it's going to be Chainsaw, and I said it's going to be Chainsaw Man.
Hands down, but this thing had less than 24 hours left to release, ladies and gentlemen. And this man's like Chainsaw, like that the culture, the Babe Ruth out in the stands. I'm like, okay.
And this
there's
came
the
from
point.
Me.
There's the shake of the head.
and here's the thing. This came from someone who was hyping up My Hero Academia all year, so. And then last night Jeremiah was like, "So, what do you think?" And I'm like, "Well, I want to save it for the podcast." So
I know, and same here. But it's like you want to know too. It's like we should just do it now, midnight, baby. Like,
all right. So we're gonna I'll go last. We'll start with Casey. Casey,
yeah.
How did I freaking know?
You were the last one here. You're the first one up. Let's go, baby. Like,
what?
All right.
What did you think about these 3 episodes? Which one was strongest? Like, and honestly, okay, you give your personal opinion, but also try to be a little objective about it. All right.
Mm-hmm. So okay, so let me go ahead and go with my first personal opinion here. I'm looking at all the 3 episodes here. And I'm looking at the beginning episodes of each of those seasons and the start of the show. First off, the one thing I do need to point out is I do find it kind of funny that they all kind of start out the same way. My Hero Academia and Bleach, they start out with the whole something really big is happening and a battle just kind of ensues because something is happening with the characters.
Right.
Chainsaw Man kind of gets a pass because it's the first episode, so of course you kind of have to have that dramatic feeling with it. If I have to look at from an objective standpoint, I would literally, as much as I love Bleach, and I did love that episode because I always love seeing Chad create a skull with his fist.
Yeah.
I would have to say that it is a kind of a toss-up between Chainsaw Man and My Hero Academia because My Hero Academia sets up the story where it sets up that there is something grandiose happening between two big parties, but
Mhm.
you need to actually be within that anime in order to understand it. So, with that in mind, I would state that Chainsaw Man is probably the best opener because it is the first episode. And as I stated, like, I did feel a bunch of emotions within that first episode.
Sure.
I went into it, the main character is like, okay, he seems kind of like an ass, but I do love the connection that he has with the demon. Then you see what happens to him, and you're just kind of like, what the fuck, man? And then you see what happens after that between him and the demon, and you're just kind of like,
Mhm.
okay,
Yeah.
I seriously want to see where this story is going. Like, this
Oh, yeah.
literally does draw me in. I am
Mhm.
really curious. I mean, I love Bleach, and I love the whole trying to figure out about the Quincy and stuff like that. But Chainsaw Man, like, no, I'm sorry, that did grasp my attention. Like, okay, there's a lot going on here in just the first episode. What the fuck is actually going on with it?
Mhm. It was fantastic. They all were, but yes, that was a killer opening for
Mhm.
Chainsaw Man. I agree.
Okay, Jeremiah, your thoughts, and once again, personal preference,
Objective.
but also
Yeah.
objectivity.
So y'all know. I mean, I've been hyping it up just as much as My Hero, but Bleach coming back is seriously. Bleach was my number one anime when I was growing up.
Sure.
Yeah. So my thing is, I wanted to pull my personal preference out of it. If there was a tie, you know where I'm going to go, right? So I started looking at it from start to finish. I looked at the openings, right? Um, and admittedly, like all three of them hit something different for me. I love the comic book styles of My Hero Academia. That
Mhm.
opening, how it's
Mhm.
like do the little comic like grid style. Bleach, obviously, they always come out with bangers. It's so freaking dope. You know,
Oh,
I was like,
hell
okay, I
yeah.
can get behind it. Yeah, I can get behind it. And then Chainsaw Man's was so interesting. I even made that comment. I was like, whoa, this is a trippy opening, but I'm digging it. You know, you know, an opening is either going to be so flashy, catchy, it's got you, or so unique that it's like I have no choice but to listen to this.
Mhm.
Cough, cough. Freaking call of the night. That, so, like seriously, like I was listening to that today. I was like, golly, but but I was like, that's a hard one, you know. But as far as openings go, I'd have to. I really would have to give it to Chainsaw Man, you know. So I was like, okay, I'm gonna give
Yeah.
it to Chainsaw Man because it's so unique, and yet it still
Mhm.
like showed us everything yet nothing. It
It-
reminds me of Mirai Niki's opening.
So, so if you go onto YouTube and type in Chainsaw Man opening, you'll find several videos that detail out movie references that were in that opening.
It was,
Really?
yeah,
Okay.
it's crazy, it's
I,
crazy, and
I
it
definitely
was,
need to look that into then.
Yeah, you'll get a kick
and
out of it,
so.
JP.
So I'm in it there. So for the actual shows themselves, both of them, I mean, or all three of them, you know, but I would have to, admittedly, so it came down to it for me for the episodes. It came down to My Hero Academia and Bleach, and the only reason is because Chainsaw Man was just opening. You know, there was still a
Mhm.
little bit of a lull going into it. You know, and it was really cool and all of that, but the action's kind of at the end. There was no real suspense until you do. Oh, this is a bad situation, which is like halfway through. You know, I mean, you feel for the kid, but because of the opening and stuff, you know he gets his eye back, so you know something happens to regenerate everything he just talked about selling. I know, admittedly. So I was like, you know, I watched all three of them again today, and I'm like, you know, uh, um, plus, you know, heavy use of CGI, which I told you, Brent, and I still stand by. I think they did the CGI wonderful
Mhm.
to kind of mimic the speed of regular animation
Mhm.
in his attacks and stuff like that. I think they did really well with the CGI.
Can I actually
But
ask a
go
question
ahead.
on that before you go on? Sorry.
Go
I don't mean
ahead.
to interrupt. Because you bring up CGI, that actually kind of does bring up an interesting point. Because I have been rewatching Black Summoner, and they use
Mm,
CGI in that, and you can definitely tell when they're using CGI versus when it's animation.
yeah.
Whereas when you said CGI and Chainsaw Man, I probably need to watch the episode again, but I did not catch it my first time through.
Brent the same. When he said that's not CGI, I was like, yo, it looks like CGI. I mean, there's enough anime out there for me to believe that it's CGI, and you can tell where it's starting. But like I told him, I was like, but I'm noticing what they did to kind of see, CGI, as you were just bringing up Black Summoner. All the movements are so slow. It's so like everything has to be so detailed, and they did very well. When he'd slice, they pretty much boop boop, and they would just do like a little flash animation. And so instead of having to watch his arm go down, it's just do, and like they were really smart with it, and his movements of flipping and stuff. I thought it was great. But it did come down to My Hero Academia and just how everything looked, how everything was going in the battle sequence, and of course Bleach. I did give it to Bleach because it's whenever everybody's there. It's the introduction all the way from the start when Odahime just throws her stuff out, and protects the kids, heals them, and attacks with her shield, through Chad, through Uryu, all the way up to the smirk. And Bankai's smirk and Getsuka Tensho from Ichigo Kurosaki, because he knows he looks badass. He knows this is what you want, like he knew, and it kept going from there. I gave the majority of the animation and the hype in the middle for that, right? Mm-hmm. And then we got to the endings. I loved Chainsaw Man's ending so much. I don't know what it was about Chainsaw Man. I was like,
I could tell you what it was. It was Pochita at the very end. That whole discussion between Chainsaw Man and Pochita, that just sent it over the edge right there.
It was beautiful. My Hero also, I mean, I think Brent, you're the one who said that My Hero tends to have banger endings. Mm-hmm. Was that you? Yeah. And but I'm sorry, guys, I had to give it to Bleach, because not only was that ending fire, they walked you through like that. If you were going to do a recap,
I thought that was cool. As someone who's never watched Bleach,
I do actually.
I thought that was sick as hell.
And so, as much as I love the Chainsaw ending, it's up there, bro. It is up there. It was like, but Bleach. And so for me, objectively, with all three of those categories, 2 out of 3, it goes to Bleach. And so there's one other factor to it that I had to take into consideration. I was talking to Isaac about it, and he says, think about it this way. My Hero Academia is already on its hype train. It's been on its hype train. Everybody wants season 6. This has been leading up. So everyone's still interested in it, right? Mm-hmm. Chainsaw Man, everyone's getting interested because the hype train was started building just before the anime announcement, and then everybody's coming out with it, and like they're building it, right? Mm-hmm. Bleach was gone for 10 years and kind of ended on a sour note for a lot of people. So to be able to revive a hype train so hard and deliver, like there was so much riding on that first episode, and they did. Sure. So I'm going to give it to Bleach for me. But Brent, I need to know, what do you feel? What do you think? Like, I've been waiting.
Okay, so I've been thinking about it, and just like I think you said this, Jeremiah. Each episode did something different for me.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Each episode did something different for me. So we'll start with Bleach. Bleach was, I thought it was really like you can definitely tell how they started it. It was like, okay, here we are. We're reintroducing something that's been gone for a decade. We're going to start it. In a lot of ways, the intro was very similar to that of My Hero Academia. It started a little slower. Well, I mean, My Hero Academia kind of went in hard pretty quick. But the thing is, like, here we go. We got to introduce a couple characters first. We gotta like kind of like, okay, we reestablish this world. And like, even though I have never really watched much Bleach, when Ichigo like arrived, I got chills. Like, it's like it's like, that's an accomplishment in itself to do that to someone who's never watched, I've watched an episode and a half, 2 episodes, something along those lines. I've only watched the first 2 episodes of the series. So even I do recognize that Bleach has a long history of ups and downs, fans loving it and hating it, fans missing it for a long time. I recognize that. And yeah, I got to give it props. It came out banging. It came out hard as hell. Like, I mean, you look at this thumbnail. It says fall anime is banging. Okay. Okay.
It is.
And
It
then
really
of course,
is.
so and then of course, like, okay, we'll move on to My Hero Academia. Okay, My Hero Academia, it was the first anime that I like really watched. Like I binged it like, here's the thing. Last year during my spring vacation, I decided to have a staycation. I intended to spend that vacation playing video games and streaming. I started watching My Hero Academia and I could not stop watching My Hero Academia. But by the time the week was over, my butt had a sore on it from sitting in my bed for 4 days.
Yeah,
Okay.
and how many days did I have to help you out with that and put cream on it and all that?
But like I could not stop watching it. And then like after that, I'm like, okay, it's time to read the manga. It's like I've got to know what happens next. I had people telling me, just wait for the anime, just wait for the no. I want to know what happens next. That's the reason why I've been reading manga so much, is I want to know what happens next. Screw this waiting for anime. I can't believe I have to wait like probably 4 more months for Jujutsu Kaisen season 2. And especially what I know now about where it's at, I'm glad that I read the manga, because what goes on and what will happen in season 2 is going to be fire as hell. Anyways, that's besides the point. So with My Hero Academia, and I know that I'm going in a long-winded history here, but I want to just say it. So, and this is one of the reasons why I was super, super hyped about season 6. So I finished watching the anime. I'm like, okay, it's time to know what happens next. Now I could have, just started reading the manga where I left off in the anime, which I think at the time it was like the early in season 5. It was very early in season 5. So I could have just picked up right there. But no, I decided to just start I bought like the first 20 volumes and I just read it all over. I started from the beginning and read it all the way through. And then I couldn't stop reading it and I got caught up. And as I was getting caught up, I was like, dude, Casey, holy crap, dude, Casey. And so for the better part of a year, I have been reading it week to week. So here's the thing. Season 6, the first half of season 6 is called the Paranormal Liberation Work. I'm getting some weird feedback.
No. Ta-ta.
Maybe it's heavy breathing into the microphone from somebody.
Maybe.
Okay. So basically, like so we're here at My Hero Academia season 6. Yeah, definitely.
Gotcha.
We're here at My Hero Academia season 6. It opens up. It's like, okay, we're in it. It's Paranormal Liberation Work. Screw these introductory episodes. We're just going to come out swinging. No more reintroducing Class 1A. We're going to go. We barely get any Deku. We just get Endeavor. We get Aizawa. We get a little bit of Mirko. And it's just like, we're in it. It's time. It is time for the wars to begin. And it was awesome. And I'm so excited, especially for this coming weekend. Oh my God, this coming weekend is going to be sick. But then Chainsaw Man, right? It's just like, okay, Chainsaw Man is really interesting because it's very like, if you've read the manga, I don't know if any of you guys checked out the manga. I know that I said that it covers chapter 1. Chainsaw Man episode 1 covered just chapter 1. And it is a very, like, don't get me wrong, Kohei Horikoshi, who authors My Hero Academia, he's good at what he does. He's a great illustrator. But if you look at some of the art, let's see, what's his name? Tatsuki Fujimoto, who does Chainsaw Man. It is so, like, it is, the violence is,
it is good.
The violence is so artistically drawn out and like detailed that like it pales in comparison to some of the stuff. Wait, am I getting that right? It pales in comparison to
other
some of the
things pale in comparison to
other
it,
things
correct?
pale in comparison to it. Don't get me wrong. Some of the stuff that Kohei Horikoshi is drawing right now in the current arc of My Hero Academia is really good. But like Chainsaw Man, like, let me see here. Let me see if I can bring this up here. I mean, Take a look at
when you
this.
said was
Like,
over when you said was over chapter 1,
take a look at that.
yes.
Like that is so like, and so
Detail.
I was really excited to see that level of detail. And the thing is, Mappa is good at levels of detail. I mean, take a look at Jujutsu Kaisen. Take a look at these later seasons of Attack on Titan. Just crisp as hell. I mean, Attack on Titan has always been crisp, but Mappa has only been doing it, I think, for part of season 3 and season 4.
Like they're definitely doing it justice.
Yeah.
It already looks good, and they are definitely keeping it going.
And like I was really curious to see how Mappa was going to handle the violence, the blood, and the gore.
They seem to handle it pretty fine.
They handle it pretty good, and dude, I have not been able to stop listening to that intro song. Like I have it on my Spotify.
It really was.
It's called Kickback, and it's such a fire song. I can't stop listening to it.
Good.
Now, and it's funny that you mentioned about so here's, and I mentioned this to Jeremiah, but Casey. So My Hero Academia, for me at least, is notoriously known for having bad intros but fire endings. Okay. So here's the thing. I think the intro for season 6 of My Hero Academia works as just like the intro, but the thing is, I also care about the song as a whole, and the song as a whole just didn't do it for me. The intro was cool, but the song as a whole didn't do it for me, and the song as a whole is also really important to me. However, the ending song and the ending, how they kind of frame it of My Hero Academia, it's just like, oh my god, this perfectly encapsulates what kind of emotion is going to be experienced during certain parts of this, and in a lot of ways it sort of foreshadows some things that are to come, and even in some respects like they don't really know what's about to happen, and it's serious. Season 6 is serious. It's the first season where it's just like, oh, we're not in school anymore. Like these kids, and I know that I'm getting like kind of ahead of myself, but the thing is, like, there is some sort of interesting context to that ending. Is like these kids, like, they're about to face something that they probably don't fully comprehend. And even some of these heroes, this is like their first major crises, and it's and like the emotion behind that ending was really powerful to me, and really important to me. And so it's really, honestly, it's really difficult for me to pick which one I like more between My Hero Academia and Chainsaw Man.
It's a Bleach just out. I got it, man.
Bleach is out, but
out of the three, I'm really having a hard time picking between these two. Like,
here's the thing. Like, I give Bleach mad respect though, because I gotta give something respect that will give me chills even if I don't know anything about it. Like, seriously.
I think all three of them, like, my thing is, it's hard, and I do agree with you. Like, I pick it as number one, but it's not like this race there was a clear winner. They all hit the line at the same time, and I just feel Bleach took it by a hair's breadth. You know, all three are good.
I definitely kind of have to agree on that. I mean, if you think about it, the one main thing that Chainsaw Man has, other than that's actually a pretty good anime, is the fact that it's new.
Yeah.
The other two are not.
Yeah.
And like in the case of Bleach, I mean, you could even look at Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood. So you know that if there are going to be doing a reboot or like the last season or something, the fan base is going to be there. The fan base is there waiting. Whereas with Chainsaw Man, yeah, the fan base is building, but it's kind of also like the same thing like with Shield Hero and I Was Reincarnated into a Slime, where yeah, the fan base was there, but it still took a little bit of time to kind of get the ball rolling.
Sure. So here's where it lies for me after watching everything, after everything is said and done. It's 51% My Hero Academia, 49% Chainsaw Man.
So none of us agree.
How are you going to do that? How are you going to do that? Oh, that's beautiful, though.
I know that I said that Chainsaw Man was going to come out swinging, but however, I think don't get me wrong, the CGI was good, but I do miss some I missed some of like that visceral just artwork that is in the manga that I
Mhm.
didn't quite get to see in its entirety in the anime.
Yeah.
I still loved it though. It was still great. I'm like
Yeah.
really stoked. You know, next week we're gonna get, I believe next week we're gonna get Power. We're gonna know who Makima is. You know, it's gonna be a good season. I am a little disappointed that they're not doing a full 24 episodes, but I think the thing is, I think though that these 12 episodes are going to cover some really great stuff, and it's going to end on a really great villain. So expect really good things from Chainsaw Man, but I think what gives My Hero Academia that 1% is because what is to come is like, I think there's a lot of hate swirling around My Hero Academia right now in the online community, but I think what's of concern here. I think what people are forgetting is that here's the thing. I think the best way to describe season 6 is that it is truly, I don't like using this terminology, but it is peak My Hero Academia. Season 6 is going to be peak My Hero Academia. Not to say that it's downhill from there, but like it peaks and plateaus. And Season 6 is very, very powerful. Or this particular arc that we're in, it's very powerful. And it really, you know, you thought these past 2 episodes were like banging. You know, we're gonna have some interesting things to talk about on Saturday when we talk about episode 3.
Mhm.
Oh, I definitely believe it, because I mean, if you think about it, in the My Hero Academia series, because I still haven't read it. I'm sorry, but just from like the anime, you can pick up that right now is the crescendo
Oh yeah.
between the moral battles of superpowers,
Mm-hmm.
and to see like how people react and how people are going to change is going to be very interesting to watch with that.
Oh yeah. Big time.
Yeah, and just like Brent said earlier, it's like my thing is being someone who's just recently gotten to that point in the manga, and I'm trying to read on. My thing is you can already tell from the start of
Mhm.
this, these kids are like none of them are truly ready. They think they are. They're building themselves up. Hey, we've been through this and that. We fought them before. It's time to put them down. But I think, and admittedly, going back to episode 2 that we were watching, Kaminari did it right. Dinky, he was scared crapless. He is up there scared,
Mhm.
does not want, like, he's still a kid, and they're still treating him like that while also telling him, hey, we need you,
Mhm.
I'm
Mhm.
sorry, but like, there's just no other way. This is real life. And if you think about it, there's no way these kids would ever be ready.
That
Like,
that's actually a
like at one point,
really good
have
point.
to pull. Yeah, you got to pull the trigger. This is, I mean, just like life. Like this is it. Like at one point, they're going to muddle the fact that they were kids because they've already been through a couple of fights, and now they're in a war. Like it's beautiful. There was so much suspense that first episode. I do agree with you. That was the biggest thing that I think I brought up with My Hero Academia when we were first talking about the three. What that they each brought something. It was like it was suspenseful the entire time. I was
Mhm.
23 minutes into the openings and endings where I'm just like, holy crap! Like you could cut the tension. Like it
Mhm.
was
Mhm.
beautiful. So I agree with you. Like it's good. It's looking good. And just as I said that Bleach had to bring the hype back from 10 years, because I do agree with you on the Full Metal thing, Casey, but when your fan base is now like 35, 40, and people don't even really know what the big three is, to be able to bring such a hype train back to where people are like putting clips up on TikTok, which is more of a newer generation thing. People are like, and come see, I really feel it did well. But on that same token, Chainsaw Man did really well to create its own hype and like just steamroll.
Mhm.
But
See,
I can't discredit the fact that everyone's eyes on My Hero Academia right now is less of a hey, you're an up and comer, or hey, you're returning OG. It's more of a you better produce. Like season 6, like everyone's expecting it to fail every season. Every season it keeps bringing fire.
Mhm.
So let's be fair. There are the naysayers that are probably like, at one point this is going to fall off. It's going to like it couldn't get better. It couldn't get better. It couldn't get better. And right now, everyone is still a buzz, like loving it.
Even the haters are a buzz with My Hero Academia.
Yep.
Right now.
Yeah, I mean,
Like,
to be honest, like it does kind of remind you. This is a really bad example when it comes to like final seasons and stuff like that, because I know My Hero Academia is not a final season, but it's like Game of Thrones, where you have so many people so invested into the story. Like, no, you need to actually be able to produce that story. And so far, My Hero Academia is doing that. They captured the attention very well. They're still bringing you along for the story. They're not treating you as if you're a newcomer into the show.
oh my God!
Anymore.
Don't go into the My Hero Academia Reddit, Casey. You're a contrarian with these talking points.
When is that ever different?
You're entirely way too positive to be part of the My Hero
I always
Academia.
argue, right? I'm always on the opposite end of the spectrum. But so there is that, and I could definitely understand, because a lot of people don't want My Hero Academia to be another One Piece. That's the whole fear.
Oh, My Hero Academia was never. I don't think the author ever intended for My Hero Academia to be 1,000+ chapters long.
But
like
the writer, maybe not. The studios is a completely different story, though.
Shonen is really bad about that. One would argue that the whole reason Bleach did so bad towards the end, it was the pressure they put on Kubo. Like this is
the
literally
Bounto
what
and Zanpakuto's filler seasons. Oh my gosh.
You hate the Zanpakuto Rebellion arc? I like the Zanpakuto Rebellion
I
arc.
liked getting to know the Zanpakutos and hearing about them. However, the fact that it was never pertinent to the story actually kind of minimized it to me. Because
I will say this:
the
I
Zanpakutos that
respected the bounce.
did come up. Go ahead.
Yeah.
Sorry.
No, and I'm sorry not to catch up. Like, no, I'll give you that though, because they did actually incorporate things from the bounce from those 3 mod souls and Kiria how they incorporate him in Ichigo's training and in helping him and stuff like that, even into the Hueco Mundo invasion, right?
Correct.
And we never saw Muramasa ever. Like after that, like you never saw Ichigo halfway through battle. Me and Zangetsu are stronger now. Thanks, Muramasa. You're welcome, Ichigo. You never saw that.
The other thing that actually kind of really hurts to me is canon story. What is canon in the Bleach universe? In the Zanpakuto series, you meet a character's Zanpakuto souls, right? And then you come to find out that the character is actually a Zanpakuto themselves. And it completely destroys the canonicity of it.
I mean, so I definitely agree there was conflict in the canon when it came to Renji.
No, I'm not talking about Renji.
No, I know. Well, I'm saying, go ahead.
This is like, no, I mean, like, there is a character that shows up multiple times in Bleach. One of the main characters that actually does help Ichigo, and he is like a really great character. To put spoilers out there, I am sorry. Kenpachi Zaraki.
Yeah.
You find out who the soul of his Zanpakuto is. And it's somebody that is already met. However, how does that person have other Zanpakuto souls? Sorry to leave you in the dark here, Brent. I mean,
you guys have
spoilers.
No, go ahead.
It's not. Yeah, I mean,
spoilers don't bother me.
Non-canon. It's non-canon spoilers. So, like, it's not canon.
This is spoilers in Bleach, and I'm kind of going back and forth between the manga and the anime. In the manga, Zanpakuto's or Kenpachi Zaraki's Zanpakuto is actually his lieutenant. It's the little girl.
Yeah, Chiro.
And then in the Zanpakuto story arc of the anime, she does have Zanpakuto souls, and you actually see them, and they do interact. Whereas I'm asking, how can she have Zanpakuto souls when she herself is a Zanpakuto soul?
Oh, and okay, so hold on. And I think that was the issue. If I remember correctly, and I'm going to actually look it up, I believe that was actually a fan theory that Yachiru was his Zanpakuto.
It was stated in the manga that no, she was his Zanpakuto.
No.
Are you sure?
Yeah, I believe that was a fan.
Them's fighting words.
Them's fighting words.
I don't know. I don't know what's going on.
I'm
trying to get a friend to hop into the chat real quick to do a tiebreaker for us.
Oh, that'd be awesome.
There we go.
Let's see here.
Oh.
Okay, he's here. Dip Down Anime is here. Okay, great.
All right, Dip Down. What's up, Dip Down?
So here's the thing. We need a tiebreaker. We have been discussing fall anime for the past hour. And basically what we're discussing is who had the best opener. Okay. My Hero Academia season 6. Oh, and Amber's here too. Sweet. Okay, here we go. Both of you guys can weigh in on this. Both of you guys can weigh in on this. Maybe you guys will have the same opinion. Maybe you guys will have different opinions. So here's what's going on. All right. So today we've been discussing My Hero Academia season 6 premiere, Bleach 1,000-Year Blood War premiere, and Chainsaw Man premiere. So season 1 of all 3. And we are talking about who had the best opener. Okay. Who had the best first episode? I chose My Hero Academia. Jeremiah chose Bleach. Casey chose Chainsaw Man. So it's a 3-way tie. Now, with your responses, try to be object. You can give your personal opinion, but I also do want an objective opinion. If it's both, then great. So I would love to hear who you guys thought for the tiebreaker, what you guys thought was the best episode 1 of those 3 anime. Take it away. In the meantime, I think Jeremiah is looking up some Bleach trivia, so we'll see.
I actually do have an answer. I did find the answer. So, to the answer, this is literally what Kubo has said about Yachiro and Kenpachi Zaraki. Yachiro represents a form of Kenpachi's Bankai that was separated from its main body, and which gained the power of a Shinigami upon receiving a name from Kenpachi. The true embodiment of Nozarashi is that of a grown woman. Just imagine Zangetsu and Tensa Zangetsu. That should make it easier to understand. So she is literally a piece of his Bankai.
That he kind of willed life into. That makes him like the strongest. Like literally the strongest. Like that man just created life out of thought that you didn't think he had.
Well, I mean, he also did like completely, or not completely. He did actually beat the previous Zenpachi.
Oh yeah.
So
Kenpachi. She has
Zenpachi. Yes. Kenpachi. There we go.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. So is she his Zanpakuto? Yes. Does she have her own powers? No. Yes.
No, so yes and weird. No. She's like Schrodinger's Zanpakuto here.
Let me ask you this question to keep. Okay. All right. So the first, we got My Hero Academia from Dip Down Anime. That's Stevie Ray responding. Are you saying that from both of you, or do you guys have different opinions? So as of right now, okay. So
come on,
now,
Pixie.
Now it's okay. So
really,
now
guys, really, you can't go with me. Come on, guys, Chainsaw Man. Come on.
So we now have I can respect that. That it's hard to take personal feelings out of the way, so she's leaning towards Bleach. Totally respect that. So now it's just a two-way tie between My Hero Academia and Bleach.
So now, Casey, you're the tiebreaker.
Yeah,
Since
now
yours
Casey,
is not.
yeah, okay, and he's gonna say Bleach. So
I will have to state Chad's punch in the skull, that will always win for me. I'm sorry. That's super strength in a nutshell right there. El Diablo, man. Come on, El Diablo.
Hey guys, Chainsaw Man's only going to get better. I'm just going to let you guys know that. Dip Down, Pixie and Dip Down. So Pixie and Stevie, they both said that Chainsaw Man was great, but it wasn't quite there compared to the others. It gets it comes back. Okay, so Casey, what was your to break the tie between My Hero and Bleach? Go for it.
Well, to break the tie, at least to me, is one, I do have the nostalgic. I'm trying to pull that away. I do like how when they did introduce everybody, they weren't trying to introduce with their powers. They just kind of showed it literally as they were doing it. And they kind of did that whole, I guess the best way to put it is the heist kind of way, where it's like, shunk. And a name title comes up, Ryu Ishida, and he shows what he can do and kind of stuff. So that I'm definitely really, I am totally behind. Plus, it just shows the characters so well at the very beginning. You have a random enemy show up, and Ichigo's just sitting there like, "Get off my bed." What are you talking about? I am the best. That was literally kicks the guy off the bed. It's like, you are on my bed. So that's why I would have to go with Bleach. Plus, I do kind of like the new art style. As I say, it actually does work with Bleach.
So the winner tonight is Bleach. Is that what it sounds like?
Hey, they were all good. They all had fantastic points of qualities, but there can only be one. I'm glad number one, baby.
I'm glad that Stevie sees my way of thinking that yes. You really felt the weight of My Hero Academia. Hey, so we're basically wrapping it up. But while you guys are in the chat, are we still on for 10 p.m. Eastern time for a conversation on Saturday night? Are you guys still in? We'll see what they have to say. But hey, this was a really fun. I really enjoyed the anime. There are some newer anime that I'm going to check out this season as well. I think we have a list. And yes, they're still in for Saturday night. We're doing it. So whoever's watching, I think it's just them. But anyways, we're doing a very special. We're going to do a live recording of our typical Saturday My Hero Academia discussion. We're talking about season 6, episode 3, called One's Justice. It's going to be a really great episode. I'm expecting it to end a specific way. And if you are keeping up with the manga, you can expect to read the end of chapter 63 all the way through the end of chapter 263 all the way to the end of chapter 266. If you plan on reading the manga along the way that I am, I think Jeremiah is as well. So it's gonna be it's gonna be another powerful episode, guys. So any closing comments from Jeremiah? Take it away. Closing comments.
I just hear number one just playing in my head this whole time. I got nothing, baby. Someone had to win it, and we were in it to win it, baby. Like Substitute Soul Reaper, take it. It turned out that Ichigo was half all the other animes, and he came out and kicked tails. So I'm pretty excited now. And, it's a win. But no, seriously, though, they were all great. I am looking forward to My Hero Academia. I'm looking forward to episode 2 of Chainsaw Man. I'm pretty happy to have an anime that I feel did CGI right and is going to do very well. So it's a good season.
Yep. Casey, take it away for final comments.
To be honest, I am totally looking forward to this season of anime. I mean, now I actually do have multiple animes to keep up on as the week goes on. I freaking love Chainsaw Man. Bleach, I am so happy it's coming back. I am glad that they're not going to be doing fillers and we're going to actually have a freaking ending to it. And just all the anime that's coming out seems really good. Watched a little bit of Beast Tamer and everything like that. Like, no,
maybe I'll watch an episode of that tonight.
Yeah, a lot of these
Ooh.
anime that are coming out are actually pretty freaking decent, and I'm so looking forward to what the season has.
There's another one I'm supposed to toss into our
okay,
at least
yeah.
toss to y'all, but yeah.
And first, so my final comments, Stevie, I love you. You're my boo. Glad that you're on the My Hero Academia side. Don't get me wrong, I love Chainsaw Man, but goddamn, season 6 of My Hero is so fire. Anyways, I lost my train of thought. Anyways, it's gonna be a good season, and I think tonight I might watch an episode of Beast Tamers. Hey, by the way, anybody know when the Digimon 2020 dub is going to release? They announced that in February, but they're not doing it yet.
Well, they gotta finish this new Digimon series that they're doing right now.
Oh God!
What is it called? Digimon Ghost Game.
Ghost Game. Yeah,
I'm still telling you, dude. You need to watch
Ghost
it. It's pretty interesting how Digimon is going into the horror aspect. Like even the new game is leaning heavily into horror aspect for Digimon, which is pretty awesome.
Okay, we don't want to get Casey on the Digimon. We got to wrap it up. We try to keep these things an hour. Okay, so hey, Stevie, Amber, thank you very much for coming in. I appreciate you coming in and breaking that tie. I really do. And I'm looking forward to talking with both of you guys on Saturday. So first of all, Jeremiah, where can they find you?
We're Dude Let's Chat. You can find us at Dude Let's Chat on Twitter. You can find us on Dude Let's Chat on TikTok, Instagram. You can catch us on our stream and on YouTube at Dude Let's Chat. Isaac should be streaming this weekend, probably Friday, Saturday. And of course, we try to do a podcast, a stream every other Thursday at least at 9:30 Central Time. So please come give us a check. Check out, like, comment, subscribe if you want. We like Bleach. So that might turn down some people, but
link is in the description. And while they are here, because Dip Down Games and Anime, they came and they contributed to the podcast. They may have not been directly on it. You can find them at Dip Down Anime and Dip Down Games. Both they have individual YouTube channels. I will go ahead and when this video is done, I will go ahead and also link those channels in the description of this video as well. And so yeah. We'll see everyone at 10 p.m. Eastern time on Saturday to talk about My Hero Academia. Until then, we'll see everyone later.
Be happy, humans.